In a profession where men die young, one would be well advised to fear the old man. Hello everyone, my name is Pestolents, and welcome to this installment of In the Bay. Today we are going to be looking at a chassis that easily predates the formation of the Star League, and due to its widespread manufacture across the inner sphere throughout many of the great houses, this chassis has remained in service ever since 2492. The Griffin was originally built as a heavy mech to bridge the distance between the Mackie and the Wasp. Unfortunately, has been downgraded to medium mech status, which is where it belongs, as a fire support and skirmisher role, which is well suited to its abilities. Because the Griffin was produced on no less than 6 planets from 6 different corporations, there are many variants that were produced not only before the Secession Wars, but during the Secession Wars. That being said, though, during this time period, the mech variant that had the real teeth was this chassis, the Royal Griffin, the GRF-2N. So I'm going to skip its long and storied history for sake of brevity and go straight into its build. The 2N has hard points to provide a litany of firepower across all ranges. But like most of its brethren, it really shines in the medium range category. And seeing as that this mech is in fact a SLDF exclusive model, I have outfitted it in such a manner to provide not only a high alpha strike, but also the ability to lash out at extended medium range. This is provided by its dual ER medium lasers produced by SCI Corporation. These medium lasers can reach all the way out to 360 meters, which is 90 meters less than a standard large laser, it's true. And it also does 35 points of damage instead of large laser standard 45. But considering that these ER medium lasers only weigh 1 ton, you're getting a significant weight savings as well as a heat savings. So the trade-off is easy. And by doubling them up, you can outshine the damage dealt by saving weight at the expense of a little bit of range and some heat, which can be easily dissipated by adding on the additional heat sinks necessary. I have also added on 2 SRM-6. These 2 SRM-6 are produced by Holley. That's why they are the +4 or 2-star variants. And I've backed both of them up by a Valiant SRM-4, again, 1 in each shoulder. These are the 3-star variants, which gives you +4 damage and +2 stability damage, with each shoulder vomiting out 10 short-range missiles. You will go through 1 ton of ammunition in 5 turns of consistent fire. In order to offset this to my personal preference of a 10-round minimum for ammunition dependent weapons, I have outfitted this Griffin 2N with 2 tons of ammunition, placing it as per usual in the leg as far away from the center torso as possible. I know that other people's conventional wisdom is to put the ammunition with the weapons, but I am here to tell you that this is folly. By placing your ammunition close to the center torso, if you have an ammo explosion, you have to eat every round of damage not already dealt from that ammunition bay. And the damage is first dealt to your uh, arm or torso, or in this case leg. Then it follows the critical hit uh, location chart, which would go for, in this case, leg, side torso, then into the center torso. So, again, get your ammunition or anything else that explodes away from your center torso so that you may save your mech's body parts. Not only that, though, as you well know, when you shoot a gun, you aim for center mass, which is the chest, not the arms. Usually, you go for the part that's easiest to hit. You take damage to the center torso more often than you do any other part of your mech. That's followed up by the right and left torsos, then the arms, then the legs, and the head is hardest to hit. Now that I have told you this, because people have been asking me, Pestilence, why do you keep putting ammunition in your legs? Why do you put ammunition away from the weapons that use them? That's the reason why. So I hope I was able to clear that up for you. That being said, lasers don't use ammunition, obviously. They also don't explode, but they do produce copious amounts of heat. That's why I put heat sinks and double heat sinks in the legs so that whenever you're standing in water, they get a ×2 buff. So these two double heat sinks, which are already sinking 12 points of heat when I'm standing in water that is waist high, or knee high at least, these two double heat sinks will sink 24 points of heat, which, but going by this build, that would, during an alpha strike, only build 2 points of heat, 10 if you jump, makes it exceedingly heat efficient. Whenever you're standing in or jumping into water, makes this mech heat neutral. If you're in an Arctic environment, this mech becomes heat neutral. So you can get stuck in. Be aggressive. This mech has teeth. Another thing that you may do if you want to ride the lightning or grab the tiger's tail is replace this 1-ton Coventry arm mod with 2 ER small lasers, but this will skyrocket your heat and you're going to have to offset that in some way. I would do this by dropping 2 jump jets along with it and replacing those 2 jump jets with another double heat sink. That being said, you may pause the video here so you can see that my heat efficiency, and here so that you can see my damage output for an alpha strike. My movement rating is almost maxed out. Granted, I did shave a little bit of armor off this mech in order to balance everything out. I could easily put that armor back on by dropping this 1-ton arm mod. Again, the durability is quite high for a 55-ton mech. It is, standard, but I do have that negative 20% to stability damage from this gyros, so that's going to be a good one. The melee is going to be buffed again, though, because I do have that arm mod. Now, unfortunately, because I don't have the ER small lasers fitted to this machine, I don't have any follow-up attacks for that punch, but I figure having a single punch attack do 130 points of damage, I'm doing pretty good at 55 tons. That being said, you drop an ER medium laser, or you drop a heat sink, or you drop 2 jump jets. You can have those ER small lasers, or just regular small lasers, or machine guns in there, and this mech becomes a medium to close combat god in its weight class, and mechs even above its weight class at heavy would do well to fear this mech. The current loadout that I have with the armor that it is currently carrying gives this mech a solid amount of weapon space at 20 tons of armament, as you can see here. You can do a lot with this. Now that I've shown you the weapons carrying capacity and the reasoning behind the build that I gave it, let's go look at its most common inner sphere post-secession war cousin. And here we are looking at the Griffin 1N. This is the post-secession war and standard issue successor state or great house state battle mech that was released for general state consumption. This is also one of the most common battle mechs that you will see across the inner sphere in this chassis. I have outfitted the Griffin 1N as follows, with 2 standard medium lasers with the +3 accuracy and +50% to critical damage. This will, if you breach the armor with a full shot of or if you breach the armor before you land a shot with one of the medium lasers, you will get 35 points of damage to the internal structure. Unfortunately, you will only get 25 points of damage to armor. I have also stuck true to my form by giving the Griffin 1N a single SRM-6 and a single SRM-4 in the right shoulder to give that 10 SRM missile volley, which produces quite a bit of punching power. In this particular layout, this provides the left torso and left arm to be your shield side. So you can treat it a lot like the Centurion, but a Centurion that jumps. We also have outfitted this mech with a 5-shot machine gun. This machine gun will augment any damage done in close range for 0 additional heat. That being said, I still outfitted this particular mech with double heat sinks, again mounted in the legs. If you do not have double heat sinks, that is fine. You may augment the single heat sinks by dropping the half-ton of machine gun ammunition and half-ton of machine gun to add in one more heat sink, but you're not going to be as heat efficient as the instigator here. As it is, this mech runs heat neutral unless you jump in. This one only builds 4 points of heat when jumping, unlike its Royal SLDF counterpart. They both run cool though, so do not be off put by that. So here we are back with Misconduct, our SLDF Royal Griffin, and as you can see, I still have good maneuverability, I still have high heat efficiency. On a normal Alpha Strike, I build 2 points of heat, and if I jump, I build 10 points of heat. This mech runs cool, if not heat neutral. And if you're getting hot and you're in the thick of things, all you have to do is run up and give one melee attack as a finisher to a mech that's about to die instead of firing your weapons. Or, subsequently, you can also just not fire one of the 2 ER medium lasers. By following this battle strategy, this mech will pull the day. Like I said, it punches above its weight class, both physically and with weapons. But also, let's not forget, you still have that shield side, which is your left-hand side. So, if you're going to have to choose what side you want to lose the left torso. That'll be the one that you want to replace if you're forced to make that decision. You will still have 2 jump jets, one in the center torso and one in the right. You will still have all 3 of your double heat sinks. So this mech is still combat effective even if it loses its left torso and left arm. But it's just a thought, my impressions on how to build a Griffin 2N. Do you have any other ways to build out this mech? Please let me know in the descriptions below. Also, a like really does help drive the videos up in the algorithm. So please like and subscribe if you haven't already done so. And if you want notifications of whenever I release a new video, please ring that bell icon. And until next time, good hunting, mech warriors.